Mr. Gruenberg, yesterday my House colleagues and today my Senate colleagues have all been taking you to task on how under your 19-year tenure you have failed to protect employees and create a culture of professionalism at the FDIC. Instead of that, your agency is known as a place that fosters a culture that is, in their words, misogynistic, patriarchal, and outdated. A place where favoritism is common and senior executives with well-known reputations of inappropriate workplace behavior enjoy long careers with no consequences. You, in fact, are one of those senior executives who have subjected employees to bullying, and your explosive temper are detailed in multiple pages of this report. 91, 92, 93, 94 are all included, and yet you have faced no consequences. Culture starts at the top. Now, those aren't my words, Mr. Chair. Those are the words of the employees at the FDIC, and you can read that on page 6 of the report. Your employees clearly have no faith that you can meaningfully lead for changes at the FDIC, and quite frankly, neither do I. I think that you should resign for the good of the institution. Mr. Barr, in agreement with the Chairman Powell, you have stated on page 5 of your written testimony that you expect a series of broad material changes to the Basel III Endgame proposal. I think myself and many members of this committee would welcome that. Do you agree that each section of the proposal, covering all 3 risk stripes, the market risk, operational risk, credit risk, that they need broad and material revisions based on the comments that you have received?
Yes, I think if you look across all 3 areas, I do expect some significant changes in the proposal.
And by definition, the material in this particular case does mean significant change. Would you say the commenters that have made, and there's been a lot of comments made, do you think they'd be able to anticipate all of the potential changes that you're considering?
We're going through the substantive work now. If we find an area where the Administrative Procedures Act would suggest that we haven't met that standard, that would be one of the factors we'd think about process going forward. But right now, we really are just focused on the substance, making sure we get the substance right, and then we'll turn to the question of what's the right next step in the process.
But fair to say, and I believe probably 97% of all of the comments that you received were not favorable to the proposal that you were making. And the vast majority of them wanted you to simply eliminate it, or they wanted substantive, significant changes within those proposed regulations. Would that be fair to say?
I haven't done that calculation. I've heard that number reported before, but I haven't myself looked at that.
Naturally, the reason why I'm asking the question, and I think you're on it, is that you may very well have to withdraw and repropose that proposed regulation if these are significant changes, so that there could be other comments made in the future. Would you agree with that?
As I said, we haven't reached the question yet of what the right process is. We're really focused on the substance. We're working our way through that. After we reach a conclusion about the substance, we'll turn to the question of what the appropriate process is from that point on.
But you do expect, as I think both you and the chairman have indicated, that you would probably have significant changes to the proposal.
Yes, Chair Powell and I have both said we expect broad material changes.
And I noticed that you indicated that that would trigger additional administrative or actions under administrative procedures at this time.
What I said, Senator, is that we haven't made any decision about the process. We'll follow the Administrative Procedures Act. We'll take care of whatever the appropriate process is, but we haven't reached any judgment about the process at this time.
Okay, and then I'm just curious, I think yesterday with the House Financial Services Committee, you indicated that policy changes to the proposal, just as you've indicated here today, that they haven't been finalized yet. But as you go through and you're trying to identify this, has there been a framework or a term sheet or some sort of a layout, laying out the differences or the contours to changes that other agencies that you're working with, that they've been able to see and to work over?
We're working very closely. I'm working very closely with my sister agencies at the FDIC and OCC on a set of reforms to that proposal, and also in discussions with my board.
If you do have that, would that be available to this committee for review as well?
That's not a normal process that we would conduct. We go through the process among the agencies. We develop whatever substantive proposal we are, and then we put it out for the public to comment. And then, of course, we welcome, as we have in this instance, comments from senators and from members of the House. Those comments that we get from this committee and from others are part of the comments that we review when we evaluate our proposal.
Well, most certainly, as substantive this may be for changes, it seems like it would be appropriate for this oversight committee to at least have access to the questions that you may very well be asking other committees, or at least if there's a working sheet, a worksheet of some sort, it seems that that would be fair game to at least share with us as well.
Senator, as I said, the normal process here in administrative rulemaking is to conduct it the way we're conducting it, and I expect we are going to continue to conduct it according to the normal process.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks,
Mr.
Senator.
Chairman.